What if I told you that a conflict happening thousands of kilometers away right now could quietly make your daily life more expensive in the coming weeks? Not overnight, not in an obvious way, but slowly through fuel prices, transport costs, and inflation. That's exactly why what's happening between the United States and Iran right now deserves your full attention. Over the past few days, tensions between these two countries have started rising again, and the focus is a place most people don't usually think about, the Strait of Hormuz. Now, this isn't just any waterway. This is one of the most important routes in the entire world. A massive portion of global oil supply passes through this narrow stretch every single day. So when something starts going wrong here, it doesn't stay local. It spreads. It impacts markets, economies, and eventually, people everywhere. Now here's where things start getting serious. Recently, the United States intercepted and seized a cargo vessel that is reportedly linked to Iran. From the US side, this was framed as a security move, but Iran strongly pushed back, calling it a violation and even labeling it as an act of piracy. And when both sides start using language like that, it's no longer just a small incident. It becomes a signal that tensions are rising and the situation is becoming unpredictable. What makes this even more sensitive is that there was already a fragile understanding in place between both sides. Not a full agreement, not peace, but at least an effort to keep things under control. That balance is now under pressure. Iran has shown reluctance to engage in further talks immediately, and that's where things get risky. Because when communication slows down in situations like this, misunderstandings increase. Serious. And in geopolitics, misunderstandings are often more dangerous than intentions. Here's the thing about conflicts like this. They don't explode suddenly. They build. First there's tension, then an action, then a reaction, and then another move in response. Right now, we are clearly inside that cycle. One side takes a step, the other responds strongly, and the situation keeps escalating gradually. The biggest risk here is not just aggression, it's miscalculation. One wrong move, one wrong interpretation, and things can spiral much faster than expected. Now let's zoom out and understand why this matters globally. Oil is still one of the most critical resources in the world. Even today, economies depend heavily on stable oil supply, and the Strait of Hormuz plays a massive role in that system. If tensions rise here, even slightly, markets react instantly. Oil prices start moving, shipping becomes riskier, insurance costs for tankers increase, and all of that creates pressure across the global economy. And this is where it starts affecting everyday life. When oil prices rise, it doesn't just mean you pay more at the petrol pump. It means transportation becomes more expensive. That increases the cost of goods. Food prices can go up because logistics becomes costlier. Airlines adjust fares, businesses adjust pricing, and slowly, without you even realizing it, inflation starts creeping in. So even if you're not actively following international politics, these events still find a way to impact you. For a country like India, this becomes even more important. India imports a large portion of its oil, which means it is directly exposed to global price fluctuations. So if tensions in the Middle East push oil prices higher, India feels that impact almost immediately. At the same time, India maintains relationships with multiple countries in this region, including Iran, while also being closely aligned with the United States in many areas. So it's not just an economic situation, it's also a diplomatic balancing act. Now the big question is, what happens next? There are a few possible directions this situation could take. One possibility is that both sides step back. Diplomacy resumes, talks restart, and tensions cool down. That would stabilize the situation and calm the markets. Another possibility is that more incidents happen. More seizures, more aggressive moves, stronger responses. That would increase pressure and push the situation closer to a serious conflict. And then there's the third scenario, which is often the most unpredictable. Nothing major happens immediately, but tensions keep building quietly in the background until one trigger suddenly escalates everything. What makes the situation complicated is that both sides understand the risks, but neither wants to appear weak. And that's usually where things become dangerous. It's not always about wanting a war. It's about positioning, signaling strength, and maintaining control. But in that process, things can easily get out of hand. So while this may look like just another international headline, it's actually much bigger than that. It's about global stability, economic impact, and the balance of power in one of the most sensitive regions in the world. And right now, that balance is being tested again. The key thing to watch in the coming days is whether communication resumes. If talks restart, that's a positive sign. If actions continue without dialogue, that's when concern starts growing. Because history has shown that when tensions in this region rise without control, the consequences rarely stay limited to just one region. So this isn't just a story about the United States and Iran. It's a story about how interconnected the world really is. One move in a narrow waterway thousands of kilometers away can quietly shape economies, prices, and daily lives across the globe. And that's exactly why this matters right now.